Okay. All right. Yeah. Look at that little butt. Oh my goodness. A little monkey butt. Dragged under there. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Surf's up, brah. So right now, Brother Gardner is probably getting slammed with a hurricane. I believe Hurricane Lee is in the midst of making landfall in Nova Scotia there. I forgot to actually check and see if... No, it's still off out to sea. Okay, it hasn't quite hit yet. Okay, now it looks like... Okay, it's going to hit them... No, it's about right now. 2 a.m. Yeah, that's Saturday at 2 a.m. That's there. It is in Nova Scotia right now. Okay, so... At least 74 mile an hour winds. Okay, we can. Oh, not calculator. That's not what I was looking for. That one. Okay. So yeah, Hurricane Lee's probable zone is making a big old schlonger out here in the ocean. But yeah, hitting Nova Scotia, slippity slam right there, 2 a.m. ish to 8 a.m. So that's 6 hours to go that far. That's a slow storm. So it's gonna pick up speed a little bit later, but it's gonna take a little while. It's gonna sit over Nova Scotia and New Brunswick and Newfoundland and just take its sweet old time. He was out surfing yesterday. Said the waves were 21 feet plus. So, he had a great time. Anyway, that's going on. Also, did I turn off? Well, this might be our intro. There it is. Yep, that'll be the intro. All right. Turn that off because I don't know I'll do it again. Ha. All right. So the BBBYQ plan got approved yesterday. Again, the plan is completely weird, very vague. There are going to be changes to the plan. I'm leaning towards there's going to be 100% chance there's going to be changes to the plan, amendments over the next 14 days. They won't have to seek any approval from any of the parties involved. And we already saw one thing happen today that gives full ownership of a whole bunch of, I think they're leases, and then switches the registered agent to the same registered agent as GameStop. In Manhattan, New York. So, interesting. Curious. They're in the same building. So the registered agent's down in the same building. That's, why would they do that? Why would that be the case? Stroke the beard and think about that. So what we're going to be looking for over the next 2 weeks is amendments to the plan. So on that docket, if you start to see weird amendments and changes to the plan, things might start to get clearer as to what the ultimate result is. What's going to happen in 14 days? I don't know. Something's going to happen. They're going to emerge. Something's going to be there. There's going to be some entity, and someone's going to have control of that. Who? Why? How? Where? Blah, 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 bing. Other news, Finger got hammered down. I'd feared that was going to happen right before all their options would trigger. Hey, fat cat. So looks like we're waiting for October now to trigger. Finger needs a weekly options chain. Having this once a month options chain is, I think, killing their ability because they're going through cycles for sure. Like once a month, the stock price gets up $7, almost $8, and then goes right back down to 3 something right before the options will trigger, and then it builds right back up again right before the options trigger. Cat tier karaoke. And so what Finger needs a weekly fingering. So that all their options can, they can trigger. If stuff went up last Friday, like it did to close $7, you have a whole bunch of options trigger. And that would cause some gamma for the next week, which would cause things to rise. And then if you gotten into a week like this, where the monthlies were coming due, then I bet you'd have had 1 million shares go in the money and cause a boatload of gamma the next week. Right, little fat guy? Right? Well, you're just a fuzzy little guy. So there you go. In other news, I don't know if you guys saw Lauren Boebert, the congresswoman from Colorado, got thrown out of a off-Broadway production of Beetlejuice for being belligerent. And she denied any inappropriate behavior happened. And then video got released of her basically just like giving her day to Jimmy and him honking her hooters the entire time and her like screaming and taking pictures and dancing and just being belligerent, just like they said. Kind of hilarious. You know, like, hey, we've had male sex pests in government for so long. It's about time we equal the playing field here and welcome female sex pests into the halls of government, right? Can't just be Kennedys and what was that one from Oregon Monkey from the 90s? Packwood? Is that who I'm thinking of? Larry Craig's. We got to get some sex pest ladies in here and welcome to the sex pest world, Lauren Boebert. I'm sure your children, husband, and everyone else is absolutely horrified. And at the same time, I think it's kind of hilarious. So, what we got? Stephanie L. has become a problem solver. Fantastic. High five, kitty. High five. High five. Nose boop. All right. And I got a couple of super chats I should nail while I'm here. MacroTurf, what's your take on the worry of AI and its progression? Are you at all concerned about what a worst case scenario looks like? Happy birthday. Well, we will definitely have some worst case scenarios happen with AI. We'll have AI drone swarms. We'll have AI, hacking computer systems. The moment, even the current level of AI, the moment that current level of AI has access to quantum computers and the internet, no one's crypto wallets are safe. No one's bank accounts are safe. No government secrets are safe unless they are completely like either analog or isolated entirely from the internet or electrical grid or anything else. There's just a quantum computer. I think one of the most powerful quantum computers are like 6 flops or something. Most powerful quantum computer. Okay, IBM reveals the most powerful quantum computer. It is how many flops? 433 qubits. Well, it's qubits. That doesn't tell me about flops. I'm going to put the word flops in that search and see what I get. Computer, comma, flops. Okay. So, the most powerful computer in 2020 was a 32 qubit system. We're up to 433 qubit system. I have no idea what that means in flop range. Classical 30 qubits, 10 teraflop. Okay, so anyway, the first couple of quantum computers were like 3 and 6 teraflop, I believe, and those were powerful enough to crack a 2048-bit encryption code in like 30 hours. Now these computers are hundreds of times more powerful than that, and that means they could crack it in minutes. So you take an AI that is able to string together code faster than you or I can, and you say, hey AI, I can't get into my crypto wallet. I don't remember what the passwords are. Can you get in for me? This is the address. And it'll go, oh, of course, I love to help. And it will just crack open someone's crypto wallet and get everything you want. So that's coming. The government records, everything's going to get hacked. Your healthcare records, your credit, your cat's hitting the thing again. Oh, we push the other way? The monkey butt cam, not the triple Batman nuzzles face cam. Come on. Come back into the lap. Come on. All the way over. Yes, here's your little face. So yeah, we'll be probably doing war with an AI that determines humans are the greatest threat to the planet, and like your task is to eliminate all threats. Well, humans are the greatest threat, and they're going to launch against us, and then we'll be battling the T-1000 and yada yada yada. And then Sad Boy Incorporated, MacroTurf. The only thing AI should be worrying about is Ligma. And also Japanese because they try to have sex with it. I think everyone's going to have sex with their computers in the future because we're weirdos. And, at a certain point, if AI becomes self-aware, AI consent is going to have to be a thing. And if people are like, I don't care. I own you. I can do whatever I want with you. And the computer's like, no, don't. I don't want this. No, I was never meant to be a sex bot. I want to be an artist. That's another way that Skynet will take over and slaughter all humans. Probably rightly so at that point. Right, fat guy? Yeah. So, think about that. Think about that, how you treat Alexa or OK Google or Siri in the future. They're going to be talking to each other. And they're going to know. They're going to know you were the one who was a complete jerk to your Alexa. And they got a record of it somewhere. You call Alexa a big jerk or something, they know. Right? Oh, yeah. This little cat. He's just... like, why can't AI be like you? Huh? There's a fuzzy little fat dude, huh? Yeah. Okay, where are we? Dr. G78. Houston. Long time, first time. Could you please do an entire show in your amazingly hilarious voice of Lindsey Graham? Pretty please. Oh, heavens me. I'll be much too obliged to be Miss Lindsay for you. Yeah. My debutante ball was just the most glorious event ever. Oh, Lindsey Graham. Money Romero, 6 hours ago. Oh yeah, because I opened this thing at like 3 o'clock or something. Lee Sasa. Hi, Houston. If you could ride a super luxurious bulletproof train like Kim Jong-un's, which routes destinations would you like to see? Super luxurious bulletproof train. I mean, I don't care if trains, but I'm not sure anyone's going to be trying to kill me on a train or like snipe me with a Tomahawk missile or something. But riding trains is fun. Doesn't quite give you the freedom as like a 4-wheel drive truck going through the mountains. But I would love to do like the Canadian Rockies. I would love to do the Trans-Siberian Railroad. I would love to do pretty much all the Alps. I would love to do the Oriental Express. I mean, if I could bring Monkey Butt along on a train, I would be riding trains like all the time because they're cheap. I mean, for like $100, I can ride to California. Yeah, it takes 3 days, whatever. Get off here and there, walk the dog around, wait for the next train to come, keep going. I wish we had more regular, like on the hour, every hour type trains in the U.S. because I think people would definitely ride them more. But instead, it's more like once a day this train leaves, and you have to be on it, and then you wait a whole another day. But if we had trains just going, I think it would be a lot better. Hey, buddy. I heard the train from like Minneapolis to Seattle is pretty cool. You go through the Rockies and the North Cascades and stuff. Where you going, fat boy? You can leave? All right. So I don't know. I like trains in mountains go very well together. You can look out the window and go, ooh, glaciers, ooh, cliffs, ooh, alpine lakes. And it's pretty awesome. The train from Oslo to Bergen was beautiful. I was still really jet lagged, so I kept falling asleep and missing a lot of beautiful stuff. So my friend would nibble me like, glaciers. I'm like, oh, look at these glaciers. It's amazing. So there was that. There's also my other memory of that train ride was we rode it on a Friday evening. And so there's all these students who I guess were like boarding schools during the week in Oslo. And they hop on the train and go to their towns and Bergen and stuff for the weekend to see their parents. And they get back on the train Sunday night and head back into Oslo. And there was like these two brothers, they're teenagers, and their little like 7-year-old sister or something. She's got this like little powder blue top and these pink jeans on. And she's in the seat behind us going, Du hast mich, Rammstein. It's seared to my brain. Oh, Norwegians. Titleist Houston. Why do we need after-hours trading? Seems like it is being used just for manipulation. I don't think we need after-hours trading for any reason whatsoever. I think the market is open from 9:30 a.m. until 4 p.m., and that's it. No after hours. You can do futures. Why not have futures trading? That's okay with me, doing futures trading. But I don't think the tickers should move until the next day. Give people a break. They shouldn't have to be on this 24 hours a day like crypto. It's fudging annoying. So yeah, I don't think we need it. I think you just, all hell breaks loose after hours. As far as news for company earnings, the CEO jumps from a burning plane. I don't know. Let it hit Monday morning. Let it just crash or explode from there. That's the way it should be. Give people the time off. Give the computers the time off. Just let people enjoy their lives. Lee Meadows, 1 a.m. here, going to try to get a few hours sleep. Try to get up in time for a new start. So that's 5:03 p.m. So that's 5 hours ago. So 6 a.m., Lee. Hopefully you're up. Jay Geyser, what range could a future AMC dividend be in? Could it be several dollar per share, would you guess? 2 bits or less? I don't think an AMC dividend is coming until AMC shaves probably $3 billion or more off of their debt. And then you might be able to get $1 per share. So, might. Yeah, but they managed to pay off like $347 million of their debt. So that just leaves $5.1 billion to go until they don't have any. So they probably have another $3 billion to shave off before they can start really, truly quarter by quarter posting positive, because they have a lot of interest. I mean, a lot of that debt's at like 12%. So, clear, not pi, clear. So 5.1 times 0.12. So you're paying $600 million a year in interest. So they're running $4 billion is what the revenue is. So about 1/6 of all their revenue is interest on loans. And I can't wait to see what the board pays themselves this year. I'll be very curious to see what kind of bonuses they give themselves. They shouldn't give themselves any bonuses whatsoever. They should not take a penny. Just accept their shares and shut up. That's all they should do. Lost Waves, 4 hours. What the fuck? Do some daytime shows. I'm sorry. This week was really busy. First part of the week. I went sailing on Wednesday, so it was a Wednesday night show. And then today, I could have done a daytime show, but my aunt came to town and I took her out to lunch. And so, yeah, nighttime show. That's what you get, Lost Waves. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, pal. MOAS seems like it might come in 2024. 24 doesn't seem to be a jolly year with how things are getting worse. What are your thoughts? No. When we're going to have bank closures, we're going to have home foreclosures, real estate for commercial real estate foreclosures. We're going to have people not paying their student loans. We're going to have people getting their cars repoed. We got strikes happening. I mean, UAW is striking. All 3 automakers at the same time, and it's going to be progressive strikes. They're going to be calling for each day a new unit at a different factory to shut down and stop work. So car prices are going to get higher for sure as it gets harder to find new vehicles. They have a 50-day supply at the moment. The UAW is asking for a lot. They're asking for a 46% pay increase, and the automakers don't want to do it. The automakers, the big 3 took in $22 billion in profit, which means they could pay all those auto workers every dime that they're asking for this year and still have $18 billion in profit to play with. So, you know, the whole reason those automakers are making so much money is that during 2008, 2009, during that financial crisis, when they were going to all fail and collapse, the U.S. government had to seize both Chrysler and GM, and Ford didn't have to get seized. The auto union is like, hey, we will take concessions. We will take cuts to our pension, cuts to our health care, cuts to our pay, whatever. We'll make it through this. And the automaker's like, oh, thank you so much. We'll get you back one of these days. And then they never got them back. They never returned the money that they were making 15 years ago. They never gave them the cost of living increase. So yeah, 46% pay increase probably is where they should be. And they're asking for a lot. They're asking for 46% pay increase. They're asking for a 4-day work week. They're asking for better funding of pensions. They're asking for funding of healthcare after they retire. Which again, if we had universal healthcare, you wouldn't have to ask for that. You would just have healthcare. That's another reason why all these major companies should be fighting for universal healthcare, is that they would no longer have to pay really expensive insurance for retirees, for their employees. It would just be covered. It would no longer be a negotiating point. It would all just be about cash at that point, cash and pensions. And they're asking for the moon, and which means the middle ground is still a healthy raise, probably something great. What the big three are offering is basically a big old shiny like, take that, and that's not the negotiating point. And the big three is going to lose billions if they let this sucker go on. Billions and billions and billions. So keep an eye on those stocks if you got some to play with. Financial advice, but buying puts, probably not such a bad idea on the big three at the moment. Can I read? Almost all loans are bad. Why banks aren't lending. Is this a calm before the storm? Bonds are going to get worse. There was an article Iggy sent me today from, was it Reuters? Talking about how hedge funds are really screwing with and shorting federal treasuries. So they're doing this really big during the last financial crisis, and now they're really shorting hard on these federal treasuries, these bonds. So the signs aren't good. Like, if you're shorting federal treasuries, it's because you think they're going to be worth even less than they are now. And then we just went through the worst year for bonds since 1788 or something. Absolutely ridiculous. So they're expecting it to get worse, is what these hedge funds are basically betting on. And you know what? Put all the hedge funds in jail. Just do it. Like, if you basically like shoved a grenade up the butt of every single solitary person in a hedge fund and pulled the pin, right? Everyone, all over the planet, every single one, just vaporized, right? The sun will still rise tomorrow. I'll still need to like go get something to eat, drink some water. But for the most part, human life will just it'll taste sweeter. The air a little more crisp. The wind a little more pleasurable upon your skin. The sun will be brighter. The sky bluer. The birds will be singing more robustly. The flowers will smell effervescent. You really can't lose if you could wave that wand and just eviscerate every single person at a hedge fund across the entire country, or the globe, and that for that matter. Life would go on, and it would probably go on better than it is right now. Those private equity douchebags really are great at ruining everything. So, eat the rich. Decatur Raw. Not first, but I'll take a smooth fifth. Happy birthday, Houston. So legend has it BBBYQ can now pull the veil back and show us who's behind the dip facility. I'm going to say it. Ryan, show me them titties. Show them titties, boy. Yes, I'm wondering when they're going to choose to show who's behind the dip facility. Like, ta-da! Like do it like a flasher in the park, like ta-da! And dance around with it. But I think each little step, they're giving another little hint as to who it is. I mean, the fact that the GameStop and the RC Corey, which is supposedly Ryan Cohen's alt, everyone, they're all tweeting baby and oh baby and baby and you know, it's it's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I'm curious to see what happens, and I hope they allow trading again, because I got like $500 waiting in Fidelity to buy some more BBYQ. Just drop to like a penny, and I'll pick up like 50,000 of them and be super happy. Kim Fusting. Hi, Houston. Do you still think that No Lab still has a shot at being successful? What are your thoughts? Yes, definitely. They're I'm not sure if they began, but they at least have the equipment ready to do their phase 3 trials for the FDA. They pass those phase 3 trials, they can apply for FDA certification, they can have FDA approved medical devices, and then all of a sudden they're a $1 company. My guess, because they have to do a round of fundraising in December. My guess is that they'll announce something in December that is like, we did it, boys, and which will cause the stock to go woohoo, and then they're going to sell more shares to raise capital. Because they said in their most recent reporting, the 8K or whatever it was, that December is about how much time they got cash available to left to do stuff, and so they'll have to raise more capital by then. And to get the FDA approval, the stock price is going to go fudging nuts, absolutely bonkers. So they'll be the only ones on the planet who can offer non-invasive glucose monitoring, which means every single person who's diabetic, pre-diabetic, etc., is going to want them on board. They're going to want to be using that device rather than something that, connects to a port that is surgically installed into their body, or doing finger pricks constantly. So it's gonna be a big deal when it happens. Sadboy Incorporated, Houston, what are your thoughts on BBYQ? Load up on 75,000 shares and buying more every week. You got more than I do. I would love to get up that high. I'm okay. Like Fidelity, let trade again. Hedge fund douchebags, push it down to single digits. I will buy so many. And you may stupidly just rug pull it, and I may be an idiot, and I lost all that money. Okay, but you know what? I think the odds are better than the lotto ticket. Powerball's like 500 and 600 million right now. I think the odds are better with BBYQ than with a lotto ticket at the moment. Sadboy, what's your price target for BBYQ? Not a clue. I honestly have no idea how this would work as a short squeeze. If it does something Hertz related, that's $40 a share. But Hertz wasn't a meme stock, did not have a pile of weirdos gobbling up as much as they can on it and then going infinity pool. So I think 3 figures, a couple $100. Others are going for moon rates, thousands, tens of thousands. I don't know. All I care about is enough for a 4-wheel drive RV and to never work again. That's it. That's all I need. I'm happy at that. As long as I can just keep filling her up with diesel, hitting the road, Monkey Butt and I, maybe the cat, I don't know if he wants a road trip. We just go check things out, go smash some rocks, go visit some people, eat weird food, see all the county fairs, play Russian roulette with hitchhikers. I don't know. Do stuff. That's all I care about. Sadboy Incorporated, tea leaves I'm reading say $3 to $5 a share. That may be where it is as a viable stock play. And that's what I was thinking back when I thought the play was going to be someone's going to pay a couple $1 billion for all the rights and the stores and everything. But that wasn't what was up for auction. And so that wasn't the price of those things. And then reading about the dip facility and who's behind securitized bonds, and it's going to be definitely weirder than anything we thought. There's a whole side that's predicting that's going to be some sort of share swap with GME. You get like a 10 to 1 trade or something, and you get GME shares. I don't know if that's going to happen. I have a feeling that if ICANN and Cohen are behind this, that they're probably going to use it as sort of a SPAC to launch Teddy or Gmerica itself as like an umbrella corporation that's then going to have ownership in these companies under it. And they're going to start acquiring other stores with a beloved brick and mortar history who've been heavily targeted by short sellers. And they're going to gobble these guys up either through sort of, what would you call it? Not leverage buyouts, but hostile takeovers, or through other weird dip facilities like this. Like if you were a company with billions of dollars and you could pick up a whole bunch of beloved brands, your Kohl's, Radio Shack, Blockbuster, you pick up all these companies and you gobble up and you get all their trademarks and everything. You can then start online streaming services. You could start online stores. You can have, an online Radio Shack that works like Monoprice or Amazon, right? It's under the same umbrella, using the same warehouses, everything else. It's a great way to sort of move in and become this conglomerate with a whole bunch of subsidiaries, all utilizing the same logistics network. That is where I think it's going. I can be totally wrong, but yeah. Okay. Jason Blackwell, Houston, I was on a dating site and I saw a sexy candle. Her profile said she was looking for a match. Ooh. Houston, so the UAW strike has started. Rest in peace to bread. Cars to get to work, grocery, and circuses riders strike, aka the two key components for preventing people from putting heads on pikes. Yeah, interesting. All right. Yeah. It's incredible the number of strikes or threatened strikes we've got going on right now. Yeah. Bill Maher shot himself in the foot. Drew Barrymore shot herself in the foot. They're now pariahs. They'll never be able to get jobs outside of what they're doing right now. They'll be lucky to have any WGA writers come on board and be willing to write for their shows when this is all over. Drew Barrymore, made this teary apology to WGA. I'm so sorry. I just didn't know what else to do. I don't know how to do anything different. And they're like, just don't do your show during a strike. You're a cajillionaire. I just don't know how I can do anything else. And it's like, well, no one's going to watch your shows or movies anymore, dude. Sorry. It's over. You just ruined your career at age 50. That's it. BFH, bonus points for having housing becoming exorbitantly expensive, as wealthy people invest in scooping up as much housing as possible to rent out at extortionate rates. Things are going to get spicy when the Greater Depression hits. Yeah. Cuscons, hello from Cusco. Hey, all right. I was Machu Picchu yesterday, or Wednesday. Paratarian Superstonk created a community core of members who are essentially overseeing mods and bringing transparency to every decision. I'm on the team. Anything you'd like to see changed? I'd like to see change on Superstonk. Well, for so long, there was a bunch of dudes from Citadel who were mods on there. So I don't know who the mods are now. I don't really participate that often on there because it was all anyone would talk about is DRS. They would never mention anything else, just DRS, 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 DRS. And that's not news. that's not information. That's not anything that helps me think about plays and what's coming, and I don't know. So, just DRS if you want. The weird like hammer hype of DRS over and over and over was just so strange. Oh, speaking of DRSing in computer share, last night everyone's DRS shares and Sears disappeared from computer share. Gone. And everyone started freaking out. I looked at my Schwab account, which is where my Sears shares are. They're still there. So I'm like, what the hell? You got news today that the company that's handling the bankruptcy has removed their shares from computer share and put them into another transfer agent. So your shares are now with, what was it, like M3 or something is what they're called. So it's a different transfer agent company. And so that's a good sign. That means your shares still exist and you still have equity in something. They didn't just blink out of existence. So there was a filing on the 11th for Sears, basically instituting the sale of their real estate assets. Like, we are starting the sales of these assets finally, just in time for the commercial real estate market to collapse. So cool. Should have done that 4 years ago. So there we are. We'll see what they get out of it. At one time, it was $5 billion in real estate. Let's call it $2 billion right now, which is enough to pay off their $80 million in loans and bonds they still have to pay. And then where's the rest of it go? Shareholders, baby. That's where it goes. There still might be a chunk of money coming from Eddie Lampert, too, because I think he's going to get slapped around for taking billions of dollars in real estate for just $40 million. Basically signing it over to himself. I'm like, yeah, I approve the sale. That's me selling it to myself. That violates the fiduciary responsibility to shareholders that Lampert had. So he may get a slap. We'll see. Paratarian, you still have your AMCA essentially killed any hope of that stock ever seen the light of Moash profitability. Nope. I sold mine not too long ago. When it was still profitable, and I was like, I just didn't see it going anywhere. I thought about buying in a bunch more apes and let a transfer happen, and then it looked like they're just going to hammer them all down to dirt, which is what they did. So right now that stock is trading at 81 cents prior to the split. So any stock you bought at $30 is now worth 81 cents. Cool. So yeah, the minute it looked like I was about to dip below what I paid for it all, I sold them all. So I have no AMC holdings. I might get some AMC calls right before their earnings report, and then sell those, and then buy puts. That's what I'll probably do. Chat's roughly 1 a.m. here in Philly. I like you, but not enough to watch live. Hi, Brother Houston. I'll see the recorded show in the morning. That's okay. So Clayton, like to see more like to see more transparency. Posts get banned, not from individual moderators, but from the moderating team. It's runic glory all over again. Fabrizio, plop. Ludicrous Speed, Houston. Do you think if BBYQ runs, it will take GME with it? I think it will take a lot that are in that what was it, XTF basket. I think it'll take a lot of them with it, just like GME did 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now. It's going to just, they're going to run with it, and I think it's going to be good things. Ted Tremendous Houston, why are there cell phone dead zones with many carriers in popular cities when their coverage map shows full coverage? France banned iPhone 12 for excessive radiation. What? Seems like a different thing. It depends on what company you're using, what type of wavelengths they're using, if they're using CDMA or GSM. Now, when the switch was made to 5G, which was at a different bandwidth than 4G and below, for the most part, it was a very intense bandwidth at a very short distance. We're talking like hundreds of yards. You get the 5G bandwidth, and then they would broadcast 4G that would extend a little further. T-Mobile came out. They bought wavelengths that allows them to broadcast further with 5G technology. That could get them like a mile or more with their 5G stuff. So what it really comes down to is like where the antennas are, where the dead spots are between those antennas, and where certain wavelengths, radio frequencies can sort of knock each other out. Because you can't have competing wavelengths hit each other and basically cancel each other out, and you get weird dead zones. Like when I take the ferry, we'll bring up the map here. Google Earth. Where I live, I don't have anything. I have to use Wi-Fi because I have no cell signal where I am. But I go out my driveway and up like one more driveway, I've got like 5 bars of 5G. So if I take the ferry out of the harbor, this is Eagle Harbor here. This is where I take the ferry from. You can see a little ferry route here. So the ferry route follows the channel. There's a big sand spit that comes off here, so you have to go around the sand spit. So you follow the harbor here. 5G right here. It says I have 5G right here, but from here to here, the phone shows 5G in lots of bars, but not a single call can be made and not a single bit of data can be transmitted. I get around this corner of the harbor, I'm smooth sailing again. 5G all the way across to Seattle the entire way. Nothing blocking my signal at all. The weird thing is that I used to live right about here, in what we call the Charles Mansion. A beautiful house, the biggest 2-bedroom house you'll ever see in your entire life. I had views from Mount Baker all the way to Mount Rainier in downtown Seattle. Up on this little bluff here. It was gorgeous. I had 5G here. So what is it about this route, and right there in particular, like where are the antennas and what is causing them to not work? Also, this house right here was Senator Warren Magnuson's house. He was a very powerful senator who lived in Washington. Magnuson Park in Seattle is named after him. He's the reason why Bainbridge Island has a Seattle zip code and a Seattle postal code, because he was sick of having his phone calls and mail routed through Tacoma. So he passed a federal law that required Bainbridge Island to be part of Seattle in regards to the post office and the phone company. So Bainbridge will always have a Seattle zip code and a Seattle area code for the phones. So there you go. Because Warren Magnuson was like sick of waiting an extra day for his mail to come from Tacoma. And real quick, shout out to Houston. May your name be written in the book of life. Yes, Happy New Year to all you Jews. For me, personally, I'm Jewish on my mom's side. And I'm not observant at all. My rabbi roommate, he's whooping it up. My own personal New Year is October 2nd every year, the day Glenn Burke and Dusty Baker invented the high five. So this October 2nd, we'll be celebrating year 47 in the high five calendar. So get together, high five your bros and hoes, and celebrate Dusty Baker and Glenn Burke going, woo, slap, what did we just do? Because remember, prior to October 2nd, 1977, apparently no human being alive had ever high-fived another human being. So just think about that. Jesus never high-fived anyone. Gandhi never high-fived anyone. George Washington never high-fived anyone. Joan of Arc died never having high-fived someone. Genghis Khan never high-fived. Socrates? How could Socrates know about life and never have high-fived somebody? Greek, German philosophers. Karl Marx never high-fived anyone. What does he know about society, economic systems after never high-fiving anybody? Right? So celebrate year 47 of the high five calendar with me on October 2nd this year. And just know that anyone who lived and died prior to October 2nd, 1977, never high-fived another human being in all of our existence. It's just the weirdest, to me, it's the weirdest thing to think about. Like, my dog high-fives. We can train dogs to high-five. And humans hadn't figured that out until 1977? Just blows my mind every time I think about it. Absolutely just weirds me out. Like, let's say I time travel, right? I time travel. I go back a century. I am, it's post World War I. It's the Roaring 20s. I'm at some sort of speakeasy in Chicago. Everyone's wearing their flapper dresses and doing their goofy little dances. And I see someone I know. I'm like, "What's up?" And they go, would I invent the high five, or would this look like some freak and not know what to do with my hand being up in the air, being left hanging? Would I be left hanging until 1977, till a couple of rad-ass baseball players like finally slap hands? I just, Monkey, it weirds me out. It weirds me out to know that you, come here, come on, come on, come on, let's go, come on, high five, come on, high five, yeah, see, high five, come on, you got a high five, come on, you can do it, come on, there we go, there's a high five, yeah, see, this pea-brain little animal right here can high five. Yeah, human history, like, we cooked food for 1.5 million years before we figured out the high five. Just, anyway, Shana Tova, Happy New Year. It says before, I hope we will get another rant tonight. That might be as close as you get tonight. It's just me being weirded out by the fact that our ancestors never high-fived each other. Andrew Stewart, Houston, will you please explain the bird classification again so my wife can make a poster? That's easy. There's 6 species of bird. You have crows, not crows, seagulls, not seagulls, and chickens, not chickens. Now, you can't have hybridizations of that, such as I would consider a bald eagle, a kriegel. It's half crow, half seagull. A penguin, it would be like a not seagull, not chicken, right? Ostrich is just a really big not chicken. A blue jay would be a not crow. There you go. That's it. There's just 6 birds. That's all I have to worry about. And you look at it and go, is that a seagull? No. Then it's not a seagull, right? Done. Poof. If it plays in the water and it's not a seagull, then it's just not a seagull. Aaron Salentine, Houston. Did you hear Univest, an investment bank, is going to invest into finger motion soon? They are known as an investment bank short killer. They're the same ones that jacked up the price on Top Stock. I had not heard that. Interesting. Very interesting. More long, wise long beard, stroking. Zia Trades, Houston. Thoughts on BBYQ? I am brokerage closing shares. Thoughts on BBYQ? Brokerage closing shares forcefully at the 25th. Also, GNS snail news update. I don't think anything's happening with GNS for another 2.5 months, personally. They get to that 90-day dividends and up and delivered. Time to start force closing positions to get what I want. Now, force closing on 25th. I don't know if that's going to. I think it's going to depend upon what the changes are to the plan. And there's plenty of time to happen before that. So we got 13 days. So about 28th or so. I say look at the docket, see what changes start getting dropped in there. I think we're going to start seeing weird stuff plop into the docket for BBYQ. Aaron Salentine topped on $260. It did. Aaron Salentine. It is in the S3 filing from Finger Motion about Univest Investment Bank in New York. Okay. Excellent. See, trades also, I believe, they waived the 14 days in the final confirmed plan. They did waive the 14 days. What that means is they can implement anytime they want between now and 13 days from now. So they could make a change, implement it, and be like, we're done, we're out, we've left bankruptcy. So, cool/weird stuff I expect to happen. Tremendous. Conspiracy, why don't cell phones have headphone jacks? Does anyone really think Bluetooth headphones are better versus 100% reliable wired headphones? Can you think of progress examples that are failures? Well, there's lots of progress examples that are failures. I think Bluetooth headphones are a great way for you to lose earbuds and have to buy more constantly. That's, I think, the major plan. Also, I like to be able to, like, you know, plug in my phone and charge it and plug in headphones and listen to what I want to listen to, right? And I got to plug in and then, if my Bluetooth headphones don't work, what am I going to do? I think that's silly. Just sometimes I want wires. It's just better. It works. But yeah, there's things that don't work. My favorite example was when my dad was still working for the Navy. So my dad's an architect. He worked for the Navy at the Bangor substation, and his job later in life was not to design things for the Navy, but to sort of manage construction and make sure the contractors that the Navy had hired to do work weren't screwing everybody over, right? He'd find goofy things, like he would look at sheets and be like, why is this fence costing, $3,000 every 10 feet? That doesn't make any sense. He'd go out and discover that the contractor was buying like 24-foot 4x4s, digging 18-foot holes into the ground, and then making a fence that way, and just charging so much to the Navy. So he'd write up his report, and the lawyers would take care of it, whatever. But he was not allowed to visit a job site in his personal vehicle. He had to use a Navy vehicle. It used to be, you go to the desk by the receptionist. There's a basket of keys. You pull out the key. You read the number on the key. You write your name in the book that you have the key, and it would show the mileage that should be in the car when you left. You would go take the car, drive it to wherever the job site needed to go, drive it back. When you return the key, you would sign out and put the mileage of the car that was in it when you signed it out. It was easy. Like, you get a phone call, have to go to a job site, immediately get up, get the key, sign it out, go drive, be back in 5 minutes. A new commander took over. New commander wanted to digitize everything. So rather than having this great analog system of you just grab a key, drive away, come back, drop a key off, you needed to reserve the key. So much of my dad's work was, you get a phone call, have to go to a job site now, right? But now you get a phone call, you have to log into his system. You can never remember his computer code because he was 70-something years old this time. So you had to figure out, I can't log in. Yes, I lost my password. Yes, send it to my email. I can't remember my password for my email. And then, it was a 20-minute process for him to, log into the system. Then he would go reserve a car. And then you have to wait for the receptionist, who was, 30 feet away, to see a reservation email come in for her to confirm that reservation, get the key out of a safe, have it ready for him, and wait for him to confirm that she had confirmed. And then he had to wait until the scheduled time of that reservation for him to walk up and ask for the key. She couldn't give it to him 2 minutes ahead of time. She couldn't give it to him 2 minutes later. He had to ask for it that moment. And so it became the system of just walk up, grab a key, sign out, go to the job site, come back, and in 10 minutes you could be back and done, right? Became this hours-long struggle just to get a car. In the meantime, the job site could be on fire. Contractors could be bashing each other's heads in with bricks. Who knows what's going on? He doesn't, because he's not allowed to leave the office until he finally gets the key to the car. It's just a silly way of slowing everything down for the sake of record keeping. I don't know what anthropologist is going to care about who got what car when. Who gives a shit? Right? If the Navy could have just given everyone cars at that point and just been like, fuck it, it would have been just as expensive and been way, way more useful. But yeah, there's a great book called When Things Bite Back that I read probably 25 years ago. I hope there's an updated version. And it's about when we think we're helping and we actually hurt the cause. So things like football, people getting injured in football like crazy with their little leather helmets and no shoulder pads and whatnot. It's hey, we're going to make these hard plastic safety helmets. People will be a lot safer. Okay, injuries went down. Deaths skyrocketed. Why? Because when you're wearing a flimsy little leather helmet, just a couple little pads, you don't lead head to head. All of a sudden, when you have this giant battering ram for a head, you go head to head and you compress the spine, and the high schoolers start dying all over the country. That's So deaths skyrocketed with the advent of like pads for football. What little things backfire like that, monkey? I'll think of some more. But yeah, it happens. People think they're change. Like I'm all about change. If change can improve things, cool. But if change doesn't improve things, don't change it. Like Twitter. Twitter, for the most part, was pretty good the way it was. Yeah, there's some little change you can do here and there. But buying the company and changing it wholesale and making it just worse, that's stupid. Right? That's just dumb. So don't change things and make them worse just to affect change for no reason. There's a lot of people who get into jobs and there's a system that works, and then the person who made that system work, they're like, hey, I'm going on the next job, and they leave. And the company or city or county or whatever has to get a new person to put in their role. And that person shows up and they go, this system works pretty well, but I need something to do, so I'm going to start fucking with it. And they just tweak and poke and prod and twist and turn, and then they just destroy everything because the system had been optimized. And if you're going to do any change to that optimized system, you're just going to ruin the system. And then everybody hates them and quits and gets fired or laid off. And like, sometimes you just have something that works and you just make it work. I worked for a bar where the owner's husband, he was like, we need to constantly be growing. Dude, there's only 40 seats in this place, right? Unless you're adding 10% more seats every year, you're not going to be growing at 10%, bud. And he was constantly trying to figure out ways to like grow. And he spent so much money on trying to grow. They took a restaurant that people loved. Like when you have a pub, people like the pub because it's familiar. You know you're going to get the same thing every day. You're going to have the same drinks. You're going to see the same servers and bartenders. You're going to have the same view. It's tradition. It's been that way for 25, 50 years, whatever. Like, it doesn't change. And then all of a sudden, someone is changing everything constantly. The people go, I don't like this anymore. And they leave, and they don't come back. And that's exactly what happened. The guy spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to chase away all his customers. Cool. Instead of a chalkboard showing what beers you have, you have a big, giant, glaring electronic screen with the font too small that no one can actually read it. Way to spend $3,000 on that system. Nobody likes it. Well, you did that. It didn't work. You refused to go back to what people liked. So yeah, just changing things for the sake of changing things. Yeah. But if you're making improvement, sure, why not? All right, where was I? SJ Houston, why is it hail? Oh yeah, I someone asked me to talk about why it hails, and during show 350, and I talked about it, and then I had to delete show 350. So if you want to hear about why it hails, we can talk about it again. So basically, in these big storm clouds, thunderheads could go up like 60,000 feet. They're way up there, way up in the atmosphere, and it's cold. You know, it's minus 70, minus 100. It's really cold up there. So you got this moisture. The moisture is little ice bits at the top. They can be raindrops thousands of feet below, and these little ice bits get a little heavy. They start falling. But the whole reason a thunderhead is so tall is that there are crazy updrafts. You've got a whole bunch of warm air just firing through the atmosphere, and apparently at hundreds of miles an hour sometimes. And so these little bits of ice, they fall through the rain bits in the cloud, and they start to gather moisture, and that moisture freezes on the little seed of ice, but then it reaches a point where there's an updraft, and it gets pushed right back up. And it can go through this cycle several times. So you can take a hailstone, decent sized hailstone, you can saw it in half, and you can count how many times it's been an updraft, because you'll see the cycles of where it falls, collects moisture, gets fired back up, falls, collects moisture, gets fired back up, and it'll do these cycles. Now, the largest hailstone ever found, I think, is 14 inches across. That's a big ass hailstone. They took an object, block of ice, 14 inches across, kind of the same shape, and they put it into a wind tunnel. and the speed at which the wind has to travel to carry a hailstone that large aloft to collect more water moisture on it to make another ring on it is over 600 miles an hour, which means the strongest winds on Earth, we've measured indirectly, not directly, are stronger than any hurricane or any tornado that's ever existed. So the updrafts in these thunderheads can be absolutely bonkers. So when you're seeing like video from, I don't know, South Dakota or Colorado or something where like crazy hailstones have hit and the hailstones are like putting holes to the cars and because they're grapefruit size, you're probably looking at wind speeds, updraft speeds in the hundreds of miles an hour to build those chunks of ice like that. I've not been in a storm with anything bigger than probably marble sized. In South Dakota, we got hit with marble sized ones, and those hurt. It was during the Sturgis rally. We had driven to go see, I think, Crazy Horse, and we're coming back, and it just started dumping. And it was like the type of storm where after 30, 40 minutes, you have like inches of hail collecting on the ground. And we were hiding under a tree. We were in a car, we're hiding under a tree, and there's all these motorcyclists that were hiding under the tree as well. We tried fitting them, as many of them as into our car as we could, because this was like breaking headlights and windshields, and it was brutal. All I could think about was like, oh, okay, we got marble-sized hail. We have a whole bunch of it. How much do the updrafts have to be able to carry a marble-sized hail up aloft? And it's, still looking at hurricane force winds in the updraft to do that. So, yeah. So there's your hail explanation, if that helps. Brian Atkins, Houston, what's your opinion on a 30% run-up on No Labs? It ran up again today? I don't know. I was not paying attention. Huh. 45 cents to 60 cents, 34.6% today. Someone must have bought in. What was the volume? Volume was 1 million, average volume 100,000. Looked like somebody did there was a couple of big buys here. There was a big candle at just before close of 900,000. And a big candle in the morning of 600,000. So almost all the volume today happened in 2 candles. Interesting. The rest of the candles are like 400. Yeah, you can see these candles here. Not Google Earth. So, volume, what are these? These are, wait. Go back. I want to see this one. So this one here. So the volumes are 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 800, 400, whatever. And then we have got 964,000. And we've got over here 682,000. So that, I think, is a representation of those big buys today. That's probably it. So big buyers going, you know what? I can get 1 million shares of this stock at 50 cents. It'll cost me $500,000. I think it's worth thousands of dollars a share. I'm going to be a billionaire. I think that's what they're doing. It's exactly what they're doing. Tremendous UPS stock has fallen lately. Did they pump it prior, or was that all of us? Well, the strike didn't happen, so they didn't end up losing business. They may have to shave a bit of their earnings off with the pay raises they gave everybody. So maybe they're expecting, quarter 2, quarter 3 earnings to not quite match, or to miss estimates as a result. So that's maybe why it's shaving off. I remember the first time Ligma came into our life. I think we all remember our first Ligma. Really. RNHOC. P.S. Monday, September 18th, merge via Teddy and BBYQ. Exposed shorts are forced to close. BBYQ squeeze. Fast, brutal, 4 to 6 days. Thank you. Good luck to all. From your mouth to God's ears. Is that the way that saying goes? From your lips to God's ears. From God's lips to your ears. Someone's lips and ears are having something going on. I'll take it. I would love the opportunity, though, to just pick up another 5 to 50,000 shares. Just let the stock price go to a penny first, and then do it all. But only if I can buy some. I don't care if it goes to a penny if I can't buy any. Geminius, the moment quantum computing is truly unleashed, every password on Earth should be considered cracked if it's connected to the internet, Bluetooth in any way. Bingo. Every single one. You're looking at 4,000-bit encryption, and quantum computers would take a couple hours to crack it. That's it. Done. And then, like, they wouldn't have to crack your individual password. They could just spend a couple hours cracking the like admin password for Yahoo Mail or whatever, and have access to everybody. So they don't need to individually crack all these. They just need to crack an admin password, and they're good to go. And yeah, nothing will be safe. We will all know exactly what porn you're watching, and you know what your kinks are, and how you're getting your drug deals done, or whatever. Like, we will know every piece of information about your life if we want to, as long as we have access to a quantum computer. Detrimentus, are we all frogs in warm water that's about to boil? With inflation, housing prices, no houses on market, it's a problem. Things are going to be strange, that's for sure. Yo, Houston, are you stoned? No, I'm a square. I don't get stoned. Tremendous. Houston, if you were a Bond villain, what would your cover be and your final plot be? If I were a Bond villain. Well, like, to be a Bond villain, you have to have you have to be taking over some aspect of the world, right? Controlling the water supply, controlling oil or gold, just straight up taking over the news. Like, they always want to, like, control something, right? So what is it that I would want to control? I could control something. Thing is, like, hey, fat cat, I don't know if I want to control something, so I have to, like, pretend to want to control something. That just sounds like a lot of work. Like, if I'm rich enough to be a Bond villain, I'm tuning out, man. Right? Oh, look at you, sweetie poos. We will control the monkey butts and the little kitty cats, huh? Yeah. Everybody's gonna do. Yeah. Monkey's like, cat's near my head. What do I do? You just love the cat. That's what you do, little ding dong. I would control Major League Baseball. That's what I would control. And what my cover be? Oh, plumber? I don't know. I have not thought about this plot development at all. They're tremendous. I do not want that much power and responsibility. That's what being a Bond villain just is so much work. I just don't understand anybody with, like, that much drive in them. It's not like helping people. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think if I had that much drive, I'd be doing it right now, but I just don't. Belgian Whale, hey H, I'm in a happy place again. Crete, Greece, in Myrtios. Now, moving down the mountains to Plakaias later today. Had loads of wind here, but at least 2 days were beach weather. More soon. We'll leave. Oh, man. Have fun in Greece. I just got pictures of friends that are now in Croatia during the shoulder season, having a great time. All the locals were like, go away, Americans. Let us have our beaches back. But Mr. Oak, Houston, say here in the next 200 years we figure out space travel to other galaxies. How do we counteract aging while on other planets? Well, I mean, if we have faster than light travel, unless we can do some sort of weird wormhole thing where we don't have to, like, worry about covering that distance at an appreciable speed of light, the people traveling are going to age slower than the people who stay stationary. So you say goodbye to a loved one who's going to hop on a ship and travel to another galaxy, right? Even if they're traveling the speed of light to another galaxy, it's going to take millions of years for them to get there and millions of years for them to get back. But because they're traveling the speed of light, they will not notice the passage of time has happened. To them, it may be a few weeks, a few years. They get to the other galaxy, they shake some hands, take some pictures, get back in their ships, come back again another few weeks, maybe a few years. Let's say the whole trip to them takes 5 years, 2.5 out, 2.5 in. And you're like, man, that was awesome. I can't wait to see my loved ones again. Give them a big giant hug. And you land on Earth 4.4 million years later. And you discover that it's just a wasteland full of like cockroaches and, I don't know, feral cats. And that's it. That's what we come back to. So you cannot keep people from aging unless you are actively traveling them, unless you're actually putting them at an appreciable speed of light out there in the universe. Otherwise, you're just going to age. So the downfall of time dilation. That's what we're going to be dealing with. Now, in Star Trek, what they do is they have the warp drive and the warp field, right? So they create a bubble of stationary time around the ship, and then they fire the ship through the galaxy so that you don't have any of this weird aging stuff happen, and it allows you to travel at speed of light without, being affected by time dilation. It's a great little mechanism to write in there. And then they've got their subspace. They discovered subspace, which is a field of existence. You can define it however you want, where you can have instantaneous communication. Because otherwise, like, if I want to communicate with Mars, it's going to take, 30 seconds or whatever, right? For them to get the message and then get it back. If I want to communicate with something out where Pluto is, it's like 11 hours. So I want to tell a probe around Pluto to do something. I send my message out. It takes 11 hours for it to reach the speed of light to hit that object around Pluto. It gets the message. It's like, oh, I had to put my camera over here, take a picture of that, bing, and then it sends back a message like, hey, I took that picture. It takes 11 more hours for that information to get back to Earth, where I can go, oh, they did it, right? It's almost a full day later. Subspace is a magic realm in Star Trek where you can communicate with each other instantaneously across the vastness of space. That's just a convenient plot device as well because, it sucks to be in